I'm Spencer.
And I'm Steve.
And this is our Stranger Things Season 2 recap episode number 5, Dig Dug. And we're doing it in 11 minutes, and time starts now.
All right, we meet back up with Will and the Byers' house. They've taken all the drawings that Will's done, put them all over the walls, ode to episode 1, and it's created this huge maze.
Right? Hopper's digging out, and, he was digging out in the thing, and he's dropped down in, and now he's going through these vine tunnels. He's dropping cigarettes. He's trying to, make a little path to know where he was. What did you think when he got sprayed in the face with that junk?
I was like, that is not going to... I felt like Jurassic Park raptor style. Like,
right?
That is going to, numb him, and he's dead.
Right? And, of course, you do see him, he does, pass out or drop down, and, and then it cuts away, and I thought he was, he was a goner.
Yeah.
Nancy and Jonathan, though, we're with kind of their story. They've left the lab. They saw some stuff. They realized what's going on. They saw the big thing there.
The gate.
And the big gate, yeah. And, they go to the hotel room, and there's this little, tensions. She's like, do you guys want a single or a double? And they're like, double.
Double.
And they're like, should we turn the light out or not? And it's like, they kind of have that little line, we only do this when it's the end of the world. It's like, man, it needs to be the end of the world more often because Jonathan loves this girl. I mean,
they share some lingering looks, we'll say.
Yes, very, very, very much so. You think they're going to hook up?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, of course, because we just barely watched this episode. Let's get to it.
All right, so going back, so Mike is lying in a sleeping bag. He wakes up from a nightmare, and everything makes sense to him, and
right.
He says that he saw him. I don't know exactly what he meant by that.
Well, Will starts talking he's saying Will's saying he saw something. He said he saw Hopper, and he thinks he's in trouble, right? And Mike realizes he's talking about this true sight.
Oh,
right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we go back with Hopper, and he is kind of going through the tunnels. He's kind of disorientated. A little bit of Indiana Jones vibe when he has to go back to get his fedora.
Right?
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. I did like that. Cool. What do you think about finally we get to see Lucas's parents? First of all, where are all the parents in this show? Man,
this is the 80s. They don't care where their kids are. They're out riding bikes somewhere.
Right? This is the worst parents ever according to how we look at things now. I mean, just we finally see the family, they're all hanging out, and of course, he's like, Dad, how do you let a girl know, when you've done something wrong? He's like, yeah, she's never done anything wrong. You don't admit it. The mom's like, that's right. I was like, yeah, that's what you say.
Well, you think about this, though, they didn't have cell phones, right? So back in the day, kids just kind of ran rampant, and the parents just, come back before dark.
Yeah, Steve, where's Dustin's cat? I want to know.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
Not good. So Dustin finds out that Mr. Pollywog has gotten out, has shed his skin, and is now chomping on his cat. What is it, Mr. Muse?
Muse, yeah.
Yeah, Muse. So
you see all the blood. That was the creepy part. You see all the blood kind of strewn all over, and you kind of know what's going to, come, right?
Right. So I love this part, though. So he goes out, he throws on some hockey gear and a catcher's chest.
And he's using the bologna as bait.
Right. So he gets D'Artagnan from his room, and then he kicks him into a shelter. That part was a little freaky because
he hits. He doesn't kick him. He hits him with the hockey stick.
Oh, that's right.
And he goes in there, and I love his line. He goes, "Sorry, but you ate my cat." he's like, I had to. You ate my cat.
So 11 gets dropped off by a semi trucker, which is always a great,
great way to travel.
Great way to travel for an 11-year-old child, and finds her mom's house, and her aunt Becky is there.
She kept calling her Mama. Did that feel weird and creepy to you?
Well, she calls Papa Matthew Modine Papa all the time too, which I think is kind of creepy as well.
That is true. True.
I don't think he was the real Papa. So anyway,
okay. So the mom's repeating the breathe, sunflower, rainbow, 3 to the right, 4 to the left, 450. That's just nonsense, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, she's definitely gone through some trauma, we'll say.
Right.
And I don't know if it has to do with 11's birth or what happened in the lab, but I think we're gonna find out what happens. It's weird though. It's it says rainbow and says the room, and I don't know.
My favorite part of this whole episode is the Nancy and Jonathan story by far. This is creepy and funny and creepy again.
Right.
So that they show up at that like Murray's, the Murray's place, which
Murray
seems like they had to
Bauman?
kind of go. Yeah, they had to go a ways, and like he answers the door like in a bathrobe and like a wife beater shirt, and I was like,
in some undisclosed like industrial building.
yeah, like the last time we saw this guy, he was like in a suit and he was like giving Hopper a hard time, and he like invites them in, and he's like, you're gonna try to throw me off the scent, and they're like, we know where Barb is, she's dead. He's like, wait, hold up, say again, and so like he sits them down, and like they start having this talk, but then like they let out all the story, like they give him everything, right, and he's like, yeah, no one's going to buy this. I need to listen to music. I need to drink. And so he starts drinking vodka. But then he starts giving teenagers vodka. He waters it down a little bit. Like that makes it better.
Of course. Right? That's what you
So,
do when the world is ending.
My favorite part is he like totally like nails like who they are as people. Is like, you guys love each other, but like, you won't tell her because you're shy and you
have commitment issues.
You've got commitment issues, and he's like, why don't you guys just get it on and and get it done with, and yeah, and like you seem like looking totally awkward. I'm like, what is this guy doing? He's boozing them up, and then he's encouraging them to have sex in his industrial like apartment building in the middle of nowhere, like in a trash heap, something.
Yeah, it was a little creepy.
And then of course, they have the moment in the night where like they kind of have a reason to talk, and then they kind of go away, and then you see her go back to the door, and he's right there, and he kisses her, and they go in, and I was like, they're totally hooking up in this creep's apartment.
He's got cameras everywhere and microphones, I'm sure. No, wasn't that a little bit of Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, where they both are in their separate rooms, and they finally meet in the middle? It's a little.
Yep.
I'm seeing these little nods.
And then, of course, you also get Max, who kind of gets lured into the arcade by Lucas, because they said, like,
that was
the
weird.
Dig Dug high score, and then it's like, what are you going to do? And he's like, you creep? And he's like, no, I just want to talk to you. I was like, please, I'm glad that this isn't some like weird, like, hookup thing.
Dude, did you feel like the runner of the, or the manager of the arcade is like a Napoleon Dynamite-esque character? He's
yes.
Like, you better give me that date with Nancy Byers.
Right. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Steve. I love Bob. Like, Bob is becoming like one of my favorites so far. Like in this episode when they're like looking, they're like, we can't tell you, and he's looking, he's like, this is it's a puzzle, right? Oh, look, there's this lake, and that means that this is this, and like you realize like he's intellectually like figuring stuff out. Like he really is Bob the Brain. Like he's a smart guy,
right? But
like he's kind of clueless. He has no clue about the Upside Down and what's going on in any of this, right?
Right, and the whole time he's trying to like make it like a little light. He's like making jokes and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, this looks like a little bit." And she's like, "Seriously, Bob, no questions." He's like, "Okay."
Okay. Did you get the little Goonies reference when like he draws the X? He's like, "Does this point to pirate treasure?" And like he starts to laugh. I was like,
"Oh no,
Chester Copperpot, Chester Copperpot."
Oh, I didn't get that.
I totally was hoping they were going to say that.
That is awesome. Chester Copperpot wouldn't find it. We can't find it. He was an expert.
Yeah. It's not a puzzle, it's a map. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we go back to Hopper's calling home, trying to phone home and can't get through. His saving grace is he's got his cigarette lighter, so he starts to move the flame towards the vines and notice that they flinch away from the heat, which I think is a callback to
to the fire in the first
Will.
episode.
Yeah, and to Will not liking heat.
Yep.
There's something inside of him, obviously. A parasite, maybe a more suitable host body. So,
right. I also like the Lucas's little sister when Dustin's calling the code red. Like she's like, you just shut your mouth, and like shuts off the walkie-talkie, and he's like trying to get a hold of everyone. I thought that was so funny because that's a typical little sister, right?
Well, and I love these little like parts, like the arcade manager or his sister. Like they add so much like just depth and color. Even the little parts, I love it.
Right. We get this sense that Mama and 11, like she's trying to figure out what's going on and realizes that she can communicate with her because the static, and she knows that she wants to talk. And it's like we get the sense of like, that this is gonna be what's going on. We're gonna get it on. We're gonna find out what's going on. And of course, like they end up having this thing, and we get the whole kind of backstory about what the Rainbow Room is and the breathe and the sunflower, and like we figure out, how 11 was taken from her mom.
That's right.
That was sad, man.
it was sad, and it was like, oh, at the end when they it almost reminds me of like Princess Bride when he's like, not to 11, and they turn up the, I've just taken 17 years of your life. All right, so we get back to the buyer's house. There's Bob is still helping them find out kind of what all this means, and he finally says, this is a map, half mile from Danford, whatever, and they get in the car and he takes them there. Right. So they're off on a wild goose chase.
I love that Dustin goes to the buyer's house to try to find him, and Steve's there with the roses. He's like, is this for Nancy? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, she's not here. He's like, you still got that bat? And he's like, yeah. He's like, get in. And like, he gets in his car, and Steve's like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. This looks like we're going to get a road trip in the next episode with these two. I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. Love the bat. Story time's over, so Lucas tells Max everything, and she does not believe him. She thinks it's some sort of joke, and he is offended.
Why would you? I mean, why would you believe anything? At the very end of this episode, though, they get in there, they get Hopper up there, the guys come in from the lab, and they start, doing the fire business. And then, of course, Will freaks out and falls down because it's hurting him. I don't know what that means, but we are out of time. Let's go watch the next episode.